For dinner tonight, I'd like you to make me some fried chicken. I have to work as well tomorrow, so make sure not to make it spicy this time. But I do want it to have a little bit of a zing to it, so maybe throw a little bit of lime flavoring into the... So no spice and a lot of lime this time. If I can have myself that zing when I get home from work today, I'll be a very happy husband, Monica.
I'm sorry, Brent, but I've already started working on dinner for tonight, and it's not going to be fried chicken this time.
Huh? Why are you not making what your husband wants to eat? This is a Wednesday, right?
Did we decide that every Wednesday is supposed to be a fried chicken day?
Would you put a little thought into things for me, please? Wednesday happens to be the middle of the week, right? And there is only another 2 days left of work before I'm able to have my weekend. In other words, that means I want to eat something fried, and with a lot of exciting flavor to it. That excitement will then leave me with enough energy to get through Thursday and Friday, and I'll be at the weekend after that. So I need to have that zing to my day today, or else I won't be able to make it through my week.
But last week when it was the middle of the week, you told me you wanted something a little more relaxing so that you could have time to calm down and finish the rest of your week, right?
That was me then and this is me now. Why do you always have to bring up the past when we are in the present now?
What?
Alright? You are my wife. And that means every day you were to look at how I'm feeling before I head into work and decide what to make me based off that. You better start doing that right now.
Hold on a minute, Brent. I'm working a job myself, right? And that means I don't always have time to think about every little detail regarding you and your wants. If you have something you'd like to eat, please tell me a day or two before, or at the very least on the morning of, okay? But even on a day off, I'll most likely to go back to the store after I finish my work and put even more money that we don't really have into groceries.
You can make time to get me what I want. You barely even work enough hours in a day to make any money, so you have all the time in the world to think about me. You're just trying to be a selfish little brat right now. I have to work full-time 40 hours or more a week, and you think you having to work that small job is going to have me listening to you? Forget it. You're better off just leaving that job and staying home all day to get your real job done. Cleaning and cooking.
I'd really love to work full-time though.
If you started to work full-time, then you'd never be home in time to make me my favorite dinners and get the bath ready for me. You are more than okay living off the money I bring in, so there is no need for you to be working at all.
Well, if you don't want me working anymore, could you raise the amount of money I spent on groceries and the house a bit more? To be honest, with the amount you give me right now, it's a little tough to afford everything. Right now, I'm having to use the money I'm making to balance things out so that I can afford all the things we both need.
Are you a freaking idiot or something? That right there is you telling me you're such an idiot that you don't even know how to balance out your checkbook to make ends meet with what I'm giving you.
Why would you say things like that? I have been putting in a lot of work balancing things out with my money and yours. But I can't just give you the food you want 3 hours before dinner without having to go back to the store to spend more money on buying more food. You have to see that with the money I have right now, the best way to spend it well is to only stop at the store once or twice a week and buy everything then.
But by doing that, you're putting good food to waste. None of it is going to be fresh like I want. And as the husband of the house, I only want to be eating the freshest foods. You are really making a fool of yourself here. And with that, dinner today is going to be fried chicken.
And I've just told you a little bit ago that I've already started making something else for dinner, and that there's no changing what's for dinner now.
Well then scrap all that you've started on now and make me that fried chicken instead.
Well, I'm on my way back to my parents' house at the moment anyway, so that's not going to happen.
Huh? You're going to your parents' house?
Yesterday, my mom had a bad fall and ended up breaking her arm while trying to comfort her fall. We talked about this already, right? And because of that, it's been hard for her at home. So right after work today, I already got dinner going in a crock pot for you, and it will be ready by dinner time. So I'm on my way to see my mom for a bit, and I'll be back home later.
You're going there now? The reason I'm allowing you not to have to work a whole lot right now is not to let you go to your parents' house and spoil them.
I am not doing this to spoil them. I'm going there to make sure the chores can get done for my mom.
Let me tell you this right now. If I get home and my dinner isn't ready and the bath isn't hot, things are going to be bad for you.
I plan to be back home by the time you get out of work, alright?
I'm not allowing you to go to your parents' house today. You come back to our house right now and get back to making my dinner properly and finishing up any other chores you have there. You listen to what I'm saying right now, woman.
What? What do you mean you're not allowing this? I will make sure everything is done properly today, okay? Is it so bad for me to go over and help my mom out a little in the meantime? My mom is living on her own now.
We happen to have an older sister living a lot closer to our house, right?
And this week she's been on vacation with her family because she has time off work.
Then ask someone in their neighborhood to help her.
Someone in her neighborhood? There is nobody living close enough to her out there in the countryside for me to ask to go help her. That's why I'm on my way to her place now. I'm also just worried about how my mom is doing and want to see her with my own eyes.
You are a part of my family now, and you're my wife, which means that my family comes first, and I'm like your king. So that means you will listen to me before anyone else, and will only pay attention to me and my side of the family.
Are you kidding?
If you keep this up, I'm going to do the same thing your dad did to your mom and divorce you.
Excuse me?
If you do not want me divorcing you, then listen to what I'm saying. You don't want to end up like your mom, being thrown away by her husband and left for dead, right? If you still plan on going to her house, I'm going to print out the divorce paper and fill it all out. Now I'm getting back to work. I really hope you can make the right choice and come back home to make me that fried chicken I've asked for.
Mom, how are you feeling? I was able to get those pain medications from the doctor that I asked for. So as of right now, my arm is not hurting one bit and I'm doing fine. And as for today, you are more than welcome to stay at your house, Monica. Are you sure? I was planning on coming there to help you out right now. You broke your dominant arm, so there's no way you'll be alright on your own. But be it as it may, I'm going to be fine. Actually, my younger sister found out about me getting hurt and has to come over to take care of me. Wait, are you talking about Aunt Vanessa? Well, don't call her an aunt like that or she'll get a little upset. She still likes to think of herself as being young and would rather have just called her Vanessa. Anyway, she's going to be here with me for a week. Well, I'm relieved to hear that you have someone there with you then. Actually, when I was talking with Brent about how I'd be coming to your place today, he told me that I'm his wife and that I'm supposed to only care about his needs, and he told me not to go to your house at all. He doesn't want you to come see me? That's a little bit strange for him to say, right? I told him that I've been worried about you and that I wanted to come home and see how you were doing. I'm sorry for getting you all worked up over me. But hearing that Aunt Vanessa will be there with you has made me feel a little bit better about it. She happens to be really good at cooking. Well, she happened to work as a chef at one point in her life. Well, if that's the case, then she knows how to make you all sorts of healthy meals. You happen to also have a lot of things you hate eating, right? Don't say that like I'm a child about it, though. Anyway, Monica, I really don't want to have to ask this, but are things between you and Brent all right? What do you mean by that? Well, we are texting right now, so I'm not sure what kind of face you've been making. But make sure not to overdo things there, okay? If you have something you need to say to him, say it. And if he's going to be rude about something, you don't have to sit around and listen to him about it. And I know that. Times when I've gone over to your guys' house, and times when you've both come over here, I've noticed something. That man never seems to want to do anything, right? It's his own house over there, yet he always has you do everything for him. He tends to act like the dominant husband most of the time. I have not really been around Brent all too much, and so I'm not too sure what is up with him, but men that tend to want to be dominant husband are no good to you. They are very selfish and do not care how they treat you when it comes to benefiting themselves. I happen to have experience of that myself, so don't ignore what I'm saying here. When you were with Dad? Well, that man happened to cheat on me when he was out of the house with other women, and he would rarely ever put any of his money into the house and family, instead using it to go out with them. He told me he could do whatever he wanted with his time and money because he was the man of the house and the pillar that kept it all up. He made me feel as though it was my job as his wife to support him no matter what. That's why you ended up divorcing him, right? I regret it now. I should have done something about him a whole lot sooner than I did. I wasn't ever able to get myself to want a divorce from him, and that's what led you to having to live through more of his crap. And as I was trying to still make up my mind on whether to divorce him or not, he had left the house and joined a new woman. I understand that those were hard times for you, Mom. He didn't even leave us anything, not even a word or guilt for what he has done to us. And ever since that day, he has not said a single thing to us. I don't want something like that happening to you, okay? So make sure you have a plan ready for something like that and make your choice quickly. Believe in what your gut is telling you about Brent. Thank you, Mom. I understand there's not much I can do to help, but if you need anything, please call me. And if you have anything you need me for, call me. But you have Aunt Vanessa with you now, so I'm sure you'll be alright. Just make sure you get lots of rest and have that arm heal up.
Hey, Monica, where are you right now? You have to answer your husband's call before he gets to 3 or else you'll be in trouble, alright?
I'm on my way home now. Did something happen to you?
Huh? You're coming home now? What the hell are you thinking? I'm already at home now.
What? What do you mean you're already at the house? It's only 4 p.m. What the heck happened to you that caused you to be home this early? Did you start to feel sick?
Not really. I was just out on my break at work and was told that I could head home right from there. I guess I had nothing else to get done today at work. So I chose to go home like they said.
You were out on your break when they said that. I thought you told me you didn't really have any breaks there anymore after being moved into the sales department, right?
Well, about that. There's a lot of things going on at the office right now. Now let's talk about dinner.
Once I get home, I'll get right on it.
You freaking slowpoke. I've told you this plenty of times now. I want you home when I'm home from work, and you have to have dinner and a bath ready for me. I'm the one bringing in the money for this house, so the least you could do is feed me and get things ready for me to rewind after my day at the office. Are you trying to tell me you want a divorce?
Why would something like this immediately lead you to wanting to talk about a divorce?
If you don't want to be divorced like your mom was, then you need to stop making me pissed off. All right then. I'm going to get that paperwork right now.
What?
I don't think you're afraid enough of me yet. I think by having the divorce papers in my hands at all times filled out, that'll get you really worked up about things and make you want to act serious about your chores, right?
You have to be joking, right? Divorce is not something you should be using as a way to threaten your wife all the time.
I'm not just threatening you because I will seriously hand them in. I'm ready for it if you are. With you out of the house, I won't be in any trouble unlike you.
You would seriously hand those in. Are you not even thinking about working together with your wife anymore to make this relationship we have last?
You think I will work together with you and continue this relationship? All you are to me is a simple wife. You have no idea how many women there are just like you in this world.
Understood. Only 20 more minutes or so and I'll be at the house.
Then during that 20 minutes, I'm going to stop by the courthouse and get those divorce papers. Hey, what the hell do you think you're doing not coming back to the house for 3 whole days? I told you not to worry about your mom anymore, right? I saw you leaving the house with those big bags saying you were dropping them off at your mom's place. But for those past few days, you haven't come back here to do the laundry or cook any food. Are you listening to me? How much longer do you plan on hiding at your mom's? Hurry up and come back here so you can take care of your husband.
Excuse me, but who am I talking to right now?
Huh? Stop with the freaking BS. You know dang well that I'm your husband.
But I'm a single woman now.
What the hell did you just say?
I handed in my divorce papers 3 days ago, and then I became single again.
Divorce papers?
But you and I had both signed them, all right? Well, I took all of those into the courthouse to be processed for us.
Wait a sec. I never heard anything from you about handing in those divorce papers, though.
But you signed them with me, and you said you wanted a divorce, right?
Wait. But you handing those in without my approval is messed up. I only had those signed by the both of us in order to get you to worry more.
But I wanted to divorce you then, and having you go out and get everything set up for me really helped it out.
You wanted a divorce?
Well, when it comes to a married couple, they both have to work together to continue the relationship, right? But you were asking me to do all this work by myself. Get dinner ready for you before you got home from work, and have bath ready for you. And that last time where you came home earlier than normal and still expected things to be made up for you, and that was the last straw. I know you were only coming home early because they were barely paying you anything, right?
Wait, hold on. What do you mean they barely pay me anything?
You always told me you were the one supporting me with all your money, right? But the money I had to use every month for the house and the food primarily came out of my savings. About 70% of my savings would go into that. And what about the other 30? Well, it had to go to the things like Wi-Fi and a TV bill. I was paying more for the house than you were making from your job is what it seemed to me.
Wait, you're lying, right? I was the one paying for all of that, right?
You think that the money you bring in would actually support 2 grown adults living in the house? From what I noticed, you only put $400 into the house and the rest you spent on yourself. And as for all the money I had saved up and was making part-time, it all went right into the house and nowhere else.
But that's absurd.
But I was still your wife at the time, and I told myself something like that was not a cause for divorce. So I made sure to keep living like that, thinking someday things between you and I would get better and you'd start to care more actually supporting the house. I really thought back then you would actually come around and start helping out again. My parents had to get a divorce and I didn't want as well because I thought that it would really sadden my mom, and that's why I stuck with it for so long with you. I really didn't want my mom to be upset with me, but look where we are now.
If you don't want her to be upset, then take back those divorce papers.
But when I really put some thought into it, my mom is far more sad about me not being happy when I'm around you. That's why I've gone with my gut feeling and chose a path that I won't regret later.
Are you telling me that choice was divorce?
Well, in your case, you don't love me anymore, right? Well, I wanted a new life for myself. One where I can start working full-time again and not have to waste all of my money on a house each month. And I'm sure you wanted me gone as well after threatening me all those times. So see this divorce as a win for both of us, okay? We don't even love one another anymore, so why try and force something that's not there?
Are you sure you're okay with that? You're gonna regret this.
Well, we had been at this for over 2 weeks, getting everything ready for the divorce, right? I already have all my things with me and everything, so you can do what you'd like in that house because I'll never be back.
Well, if you come running back to me wanting to get married again, don't expect a single reply from me. Because I'm not getting back together with you. I don't care how much you regret and apologize for it. I'm not forgiving you. You're going to learn just how unhappy life can be after divorce. I had just come around to liking you as my wife, but now you've gone and ruined it for yourself. And you're really going to regret it. Hey, what does all of this mean? What are all these documents talking about?
Ah, you got those already. I had talked with a lawyer about things and those are the documents you wanted sent to you.
A lawyer?
If you took a good read through them, then you'd probably already know what it is. But they are about the distribution of our properties as well as a settlement I'd like from you.
I can understand things like distribution of our things, but what's this about a settlement? If anything, I'm the one that's been wanting a settlement from you. You gave up your job as my wife.
That's not even something you can sue me or get a settlement from me through, right? I just happened to realize you are an awful person and that's why I no longer wanted to love you anymore.
Huh? What are you talking about?
Well, I'm talking about that last straw. Remember the day you came home from office at 4 p.m.? You told me you were on a break and then told to go home because there was no more work for you to do, right?
That's what I told you, right?
Well, I was right to trust my gut like my mom said. Because when you said that to me, I had this feeling you had been cheating on me, and that's what led to the last straw and my love for you leaving me. So I went ahead and looked into the things a little more, and you weren't told to leave work early. You took later half of your day off work. You took the day off work so that you could go out with another woman on a date, right?
You looked into that? How far did you go?
Well, it took me 2 weeks to prepare me for the divorce we both wanted, right? And during that time, you continued to go out with another woman while I was at home preparing. I also happened to run into one of the women you've been with. And she happens to be one of the new employees at your office, right?
So this is what's led you to want a settlement from me?
And I'm hoping to get all that money from you as well as half of your savings in one payment, please. When my dad left my mom, he never left the family anything, not a single penny. So I'm doing as my mom told me. And that's getting every last penny out of you that I can before you have the chance to run away.
Hold on a second. I might have been out with some other women, but it was just for fun, alright?
That's odd, because after I've been gone for the past week or so now, you have one of the girls living in that house with you, right?
What? What do you know about that?
I just happen to have a good friend that lives nearby to the house and they have been watching you since the day I left. And they said the moment I had left and told you about the divorce, you had another woman in there right away and have been seen off by her every morning before you go to work, right?
Well, that's...
But the fact that you are both living together already has helped me a ton. I was able to figure out who she was, and now I can get a settlement from the both of you, since she's been with you while you've been still married to me.
This was all just for fun, though, so stop getting so worked up about it. Are you jealous that I have other women around me that I can sleep with or something? If that's the case, I'll let you remarry me. You want to come back home now? I won't use any other woman anymore, and we'll focus more on you again.
Excuse me? Did you say use?
I started to use them for making food for me. And, well, after about 3 days of that, a lot of them, especially my main girl, would want to go out to dinner and stuff instead. And this one that's been living with me now doesn't even know how to cook. She doesn't even do the dishes either. We've had to use paper plates, and when she does laundry, she'll toss my suit in the laundry machine as well.
Wow, that's amazing of her.
She told me she'd been living at her parents' house this whole time, and she never had to do chores. She said her mother taught her all kinds of things about chores. So I really need someone here that can get all that done for me, like you.
Well, what's so bad about the two of you staying together and both learning how to do chores? I don't want to be back with you for any reason, so go ahead and learn how to be an adult.
No, you have to be lonely, right?
No, because I no longer have to deal with a child that complains about wanting to only eat what they want every single day. Right now, I'm able to use my time for myself. I can eat what I want, do what I want, go where I want, all without some jerk yelling in my ear about it. Being single is way better than I remember it.
You're lying, right?
I do not want to marry you again, and I do not regret getting that divorce one bit. As those documents have told you, I want my share of the properties we had, and I want that settlement from you paid in one payment, please. If you can do that for me, then I'll be able to finally cut ties with you completely.
Hold on, okay, Monica? You and I have been married for a little while, right? Why did our marriage turn into something like this?
Can you take a look at all of the messages you've texted me over the past few months and ask me that question again? Maybe even ask some people around you about what you've said to me and see what they think. Now after this, everything is going to be left to my lawyer to handle, so please talk with him at some point this week.
You want me to talk with him now? Why can't I talk with you? Hey, Monica!
Because Brent had literally spent all his money on things like going out with other women and never actually being in a house with me, he had no savings, and therefore had to take out a loan to pay me. And when it came to the woman who had been living in that house with him after I left, she assumed he'd pay for her settlement as well, but he had no plans of doing that for her, and they got into a fight before breaking up, and she had to borrow money as well to pay me. After having lost everything, Brent started going around to people, showing them the messages he sent to me, looking for people to tell him he wasn't in the wrong. But just when he thought people would agree with him, he got the exact opposite response from them, and most, if not all those people left him. Even now, life for him at work has been hell because most of his co-workers won't talk with him, and he's left sitting in his cubicle all day making the bare minimum the company offers him. But he still has a lot of debt to pay off after taking out that loan and a house to pay for, so he has no choice but to continue working there. And I've heard that recently, he's been starting to work more and more overtime in order to try and make extra money for everything.
Hey there, sis. How's it going? Are you free to chat for a second? I was just wondering if you'd be interested in meeting my girlfriend this weekend, and wanted to work out what time would be good for that.
Girlfriend? Is that any way to refer to the woman that you proposed to? You have to start calling her fiancé now.
You're right about that. I guess I just haven't gotten used to that yet. But I really am going to marry this woman, so I guess I better get on that. Anyways, that's why I would really like it if you could meet her soon.
Of course, Pablo. I would love to meet your fiancé. That would be amazing. Just tell me what day and time works for the two of you this weekend, and I'll make sure that I'm free.
Thank you so much, Irene. That really does mean so much to me. By the way, her name is Marisa, and she is a really nice girl. So I hope that you approve. I'm sure you two will get along just fine.
Oh, please, you don't need my approval. As long as you're happy with her, that's all I care about. I'm sure that you found someone really lovely to marry. But anyways, just get back to me with the time and date, and I'll make sure that I can meet up with the two of you. Oh, and tell Marisa that I'm really looking forward to meeting her. Hey there, Irene. I thought I already talked about this to you the last time we met. I thought I told you to never ever try and talk to me unless you absolutely had to. So just what in the world do you think you're doing right now? I don't know what you want me to even say to that. I mean, you should know that my brother and I visit our parents every year. You were the one who tagged along. Did you really think I was just going to stay silent the entire time and make it awkward? You know I don't mind being quiet. In fact, I would have preferred if the whole ride there and back was completely silent. Besides, what is even the point of listening to someone with as little education as you talk? I mean, what would even be the point? What would we talk about? Excuse me, and what is that supposed to mean? I'm only going to say this to you once, so don't make me repeat myself. The only reason I bothered talking to you at all on that trip was because Pablo was there. But you should know that in my head, I was rolling my eyes at everything that you were saying to me. It was like hell being in that car with you. I really don't get it, Marisa. Why do you hate me so much? What did I do to you? I mean, I know that you know from Pablo that I had to drop out of high school, but surely he also told you why, right? I had to do it because both of our parents died, and there was no one else to take care of Pablo. Of course, I know all of that. I'm not an idiot like you. I get all of that, okay? And I really do think it's a great thing that you made such a big sacrifice for the sake of your little brother. But the fact of the matter is that you dropped out of high school and you didn't even bother to further your education once Pablo was old enough to take care of himself. I don't even know what to say to that. Are you being serious right now? Of course I'm being serious, and you should know that I absolutely hate idiots like you, and I don't care what your reasons were, a dropout is a dropout. And the fact of the matter is that you just aren't smart at all. Now look, I understand that you went to an Ivy League, and sure, I can admit that I'm probably not as smart or like you. But I really still don't think that that's a reason to hate someone. You really don't get it. It's always been my goal to marry someone who is on the same level as I am. That's why I pushed myself to make sure that I was on the top of the social ladder and that I could find a man as well that was on the same level as me. And not only that, but I always made sure that I was always stylish and pretty, much prettier than all the other girls, and you have no idea about those things that I did to make myself like this. So do you really, really think that I'm going to throw it all away to try and befriend you? I really don't know what you want me to say to that. I mean, you're marrying my little brother. That's going to make us sister-in-laws. I'm not saying that we have to be best friends because of it. But the fact is that we should at least be able to talk to each other normally. Does it ever get embarrassing being that stupid? Or are you just dumb that you don't even realize what's coming out of your mouth? Okay, come off it now. This is just getting ridiculous. There is no need for you to talk to me like this. Actually, this is exactly how I should talk to someone as stupid as you. How dare you try and tell me otherwise? Or do you just not understand what I'm telling you right now? Do I need to speak in more simple, plain English for your kind? Okay, Marisa, I get that you think I'm an idiot, and I understand very well that you're making fun of me. Well, if you know what I'm doing, then why don't you just leave me alone already, huh? I mean, I've already made it clear how I feel about you, and I don't get why I should have to keep talking to you. I mean, take earlier. I told you that we didn't have any kind of wedding gift from you, but you ignored me and went and asked Pablo if he wanted anything. Wait, what are you even talking about right now? You're just lucky that he told you that he wanted a coffee maker. I really did want to completely ignore you, but you got off lucky on that one. I seriously have no idea what you're talking about at all right now. All I did was send you guys a wedding present. What are you going on about? You're telling me that you're now having memory problems along with that stupid brain of yours? Do you ever use that head of yours at all? Oh, wow, you really have issues, don't you? You should get that checked out. Okay, seriously? You are taking this whole thing way too far right now. I don't care at all what you have to say. Just make sure you keep away from me and we won't have any problems. Oh, and that includes your brother too. I know that you're happy for him, but the fact of the matter is that I'm his wife now and he doesn't need you anymore. If you contact either of us again, then you won't be invited to the wedding. Oh, come on. You can't be serious about that, right? You're really not going to let me go to my own brother's wedding? Well, I don't know how else to teach a dummy like you that doesn't listen to me, and that's why I'll have to punish you. If we ever need anything from you, then you're going to have to hear about it from me. Got it? Just make sure that you never, ever reach out to either your brother or I ever again. Understood? And if you do, then I will make sure that there isn't a spot for you at the wedding. Hey, Irene, are you there? I need to talk to you about something really important right now. Yeah, sure. I can talk right now. What's on your mind, Marisa? What can I do for you? Well, it's actually about the wedding. The thing is that I just would really prefer it if you didn't come at all. We already gave your seat away to somebody else, so just leave us alone that day. Wait, what? Are you kidding me? I know this might come as a surprise to you. I mean, after all, you didn't follow my orders and haven't contacted you. But the fact of the matter is that there just isn't a place for you on my special wedding day. But I don't understand. Why are you doing this? I mean, why can't I go to this wedding? Where is all of this hate coming from? Well, I think you already know the answer to that. It's because you're an idiot who only has your GED. Why do you think you'd be invited to such a high-caliber wedding? You can't be serious. I don't even know what to say to that. Well, look, the thing is that my parents are really looking forward to my wedding with your brother, and I know that you've been looking forward to it too, since you did help raise Pablo. And I really think that you have done a good job with him. I mean, he owns his own company and has been quite successful. You've made him a great man to marry for his money. But it is also a fact that there is just no place for someone like you who's an idiot. Now, do you understand? I don't even know what to say to that. I don't even know what to say to any of this at all. Well, just so you know, my parents fully support my decision, and they are always talking about just how sad it is that someone as stupid as you actually was about to be there. I mean, after all, the wedding should be all about whatever I want, and my parents know that you're just going to dirty up the whole thing. So that's why I'm afraid that you just aren't welcome here anymore. So, it's not just you then. It's your whole family who hates me too. And the only reason they don't like me is because I didn't graduate high school like everyone else did. That's right. Everyone in my family went to amazing colleges and are all amazingly educated. And that's why we all agree that there's just no room for a big dummy like you at our wedding. I see. So I guess that's the only value that a family like yours can see in anyone. But you know, I've met plenty of people who don't even care about my past. I should have figured there would be those that did, though, like you and your family. Of course, there are people out there who are going to judge you for all of your failures and poor choices. Did you really not think there would be? But you really have only yourself to blame for all of your poor choices. So be a good girl and stay home for our wedding. We don't need any drama from you ruining our special day. And just what wedding are you talking about? What? Are you really that stupid? Ugh, man, dealing with you can be so exhausting. Do you know that? I mean, I'll do as you say. I won't go to the wedding. But I don't even know what wedding you're talking about anyways. I might have some idea, but if you're talking about your own, I don't think it's gonna happen anymore. Honestly, what in the world are you talking about? I think you're more than stupid. Now you're crazy too? What is going on with that brain of yours? You think I'm crazy? Well, you're the one talking about a wedding that last time I checked is about to be canceled. But then again, maybe I'm just too stupid to understand in the first place. Who knows? Okay, no wait, hold on just 1 second. What do you mean that the wedding isn't going to happen anymore? Are you seriously talking about my wedding with Pablo? That's happening next week? I'm telling you not to show up to that, don't you understand? Oh, I get that, but I'm just telling you that the wedding isn't going to happen at all. Oh, wait a second. Don't tell me that you didn't know that your wedding with my brother is canceled. Wait a second, I still don't get what you mean. Why do you keep saying it's canceled? Hold on a second. I'll pass the phone to my brother, Pablo, and you can explain everything to him that you just told me. You two have fun talking together now.
Hello, Marisa. It's me, Pablo. I was going to talk to you about this later, but I suppose now is as good a time as any. My sister is right. We're not going to be getting married anymore. Our wedding next week isn't going to happen.
Hold on, is this really you, Pablo?
That's right, it's me, your fiancé Pablo. And I really am sorry to put this on you so quickly, but I just don't feel like marrying you anymore. I just can't see myself loving you all my life after this, so I just really think we should call the whole thing off.
What? But you can't do this to me! I mean, why would you cancel our wedding like this over the phone? Why did you lose interest in marrying me? I don't understand!
Well, the main reason is because you keep calling my sister an idiot and treating her poorly. Did you really think I could marry someone like that?
What do you mean? I don't understand. I haven't done anything wrong at all.
Come on, you really aren't going to try and say that now, are you? Then again, it would fit with how you've talked to me about her before. You're always going on about how impressed you were that she was able to raise me by herself. And whenever I talk about how hard she worked, you always agreed with me and told me about how much you respected her. I remember once you said you were impressed that someone with so much strength could also be as kind as my sister Irene was. But now, I know for a fact that the whole time you were just lying to me.
No, wait. This isn't how it looks like. You've got it all wrong. Please, you have to believe me. I mean, I really do respect your sister, but I mean, well, you know, I can be a bit condescending sometimes. And jealous too, so of course I end up bad-talking the people who I respect. I guess it's just one of my complexes, but you said that you were ready to accept me with all my flaws, you know?
You call this a flaw? You call saying one thing to my face and another to my sister a flaw? It's much more than that. You've been putting her down since the first day that you met her.
No, please. It really isn't like this at all. You have to believe me. You've got this all wrong. It's not what it looks like. Please listen to me.
Oh, please. I've seen the text. I've seen what you've been saying to and calling my sister. You said that because she didn't finish high school, that's why she's an idiot, why she isn't rich, why she hasn't gotten married yet. It's all just horrible lies. And it was all because my sister asked you if she should get us anything for our wedding.
But how did you know that? How did you know about that conversation?
You mean you really haven't figured it out yet? I know you accidentally sent all of those texts to me. But now that I know the full truth, all I can do is laugh at what a stupid mistake you made.
A second I sent those messages to you? Oh no, please tell me this is some kind of joke. That can't be right.
Well, it isn't. My sister sent you a text, and when you responded much later, you accidentally responded to me. I mean, how do you even make a mistake that bad? Were you not even looking at your screen? I don't get it. How do you even manage to do something that absolutely stupid? And all while putting down someone else for being stupid? Honestly, you really are so pathetic. It's just sad. Though I suppose at the end of the day, you just weren't as smart as you thought you were.
No, just listen, wait a second. This isn't right, okay? I didn't really do that, did I? No, I didn't do it. How could I have done something so horrible like that? I don't understand. Someone must have been framing me.
And besides, Irene showed me all of the messages you've been sending to her as well. So I don't care what excuse you try to come up with. I know the whole truth and nothing is going to change my mind about this. You've never once had an ounce of respect for my sister, and instead all you did was put her down while telling me how much you liked her. Did you really think I was going to stay with you after that? Do you not understand that this is the woman that raised me after our parents died? She put her whole life on hold to take care of me, and I owe everything that I am now to her.
Please, Pablo, let's just calm down and talk about this. This is all just one big mistake, and I know that I can change your mind if you just give me a chance. Can we just talk in person about this, please?
No, you and I are done talking. I have nothing else that I want to say to you, and I'm sick and tired of listening to your lies. You thought you were so smart, but the truth is that if you thought you could come between my sister and I, then you're nothing but an idiot. We're through, Marisa.
Well, after that, I got a message from Pablo telling me that he had officially canceled all of the wedding plans that they had started to put together. I was so happy for him that I called him back right away to ask him about how he was feeling, if, everything went okay. Of course, he was sad about the whole thing, but he was just happy that he found out the truth about his fiancée before they actually officially became husband and wife. But he also felt so horrible that I had to put up with all of that for Marisa. I told him that I didn't want to say anything because I saw how happy he was with her. I told him not to blame himself because he had no way of knowing that she was lying to him this whole time. I have no idea what Marisa did with her life or where she went after Pablo called everything off. But Pablo has been making more of an effort to check in with me and make sure that I'm doing okay. And I've been doing my best to be there for him like I have been for all those years. I may not be the brightest, but I do know enough to not let anyone try and determine my wealth for the choices I made for my family.
Deanna, hurry it up and get out of bed. I would really like to eat some sweets right about now. Huh? Do you have any idea what time it is right now, Autumn? It's 3 a.m, but I want to eat something sweet. Right now, the baby in my belly is asking to eat some strawberry shortcake, so I, as her mother, I have to get her the shortcake that she's asking for. I'm sorry, but there's no cake store in town open at this early in the morning, okay? I'm fine with one from the grocery store, so get one of those for me. And make sure that the cake is a strawberry shortcake, please. Not a chocolate cake or a cheesecake, but a strawberry shortcake, all right? I'm sorry, Autumn. I'll go out and pick you up a cake in the morning, but right now I'm trying to sleep. Huh? I had to be out late for work all night, and I'll have to be back to work all day tomorrow as well. So I really need to catch some sleep right now. I'm sorry. I am not playing around right now. Your sister-in-law is telling you that she wants to eat some cake right now. I don't give a crap about how hard work is going for you recently. So shut your mouth and go to the nearest store and get me that cake. Then I'm going to ask Brent to go do that for you. He's told me that tomorrow is his day off, so... If he has the day off tomorrow, then he needs to get his sleep right now, so leave him be. There is no reason for you to be waking up my little brother right now. I have asked you to go and get me that cake, so do so right now. There's no way I'm doing that right now. I am way too sleepy and just want a few more hours of sleep. Make sure to hurry it up so that my baby isn't kept waiting too long. And if you're not back soon, I might already be asleep again and my baby will starve. And with that cake, can you also get me some orange juice? I'm sorry, Autumn, have you seen my purse and wallet anywhere recently? This morning when I was at the market, I went to go and pay for the food and my wallet and everything wasn't in my bag. Now that I think about it, last night you were looking through my bag, right? Sorry. I totally forgot to give you back your purse and wallet. It's in my room right now, so come and grab it later. Huh? Why are both my purse and wallet in your room right now? I was just wanting to use your credit card a little yesterday. Recently, I have been so stressed out. But after doing some major shopping online, all that stress has gone bye-bye. But I'm done buying all the things I wanted, so you can have your things back now. What? You used my credit card to go shopping online for yourself? I did that because the doctor has been telling me to do my best to not get stressed while pregnant with the baby. So thanks to your money, I was able to do just that. Could you please tell me how much you spent last night? I wasn't really paying attention to how much I was spending, all right? But I got a lot of really expensive makeup, some nice designer clothing, and of course some things for the baby as well. And I made sure to buy some really expensive foods. You spent quite a bit then, huh? Maybe a couple grand? But this month you should be getting a bonus, so you don't have to worry. I should be worried about all of that. Please pay me back for all the things you bought on my credit card later. Huh? Why do I have to pay you back for all the things that were paid for on your credit card? I would have just used all my own credit cards had I known you would want me to pay you back. What? So you actually think I'm going to pay for all that? Well, of course I do. I mean, you are my sister-in-law after all, right? You have to be willing to pay for things your older sister wants. I have no idea what you're talking about right now. Do I have to pay for all your things just because you are my older sister-in-law? You sure do have to pay for me. What are you trying to get at now, Deanna? I understand that during pregnancy, it's not good to be stressed out. But if you think buying things online is a good way to remedy your stress, then maybe you should be using your own cards. Autumn, you have that credit card from your husband, right? He told you that you can use it on whatever you need while being back home with your mom and dad, right? What I have in my possession right now is my husband's family's card. In other words, that means my husband would have to pay for whatever I'm spending. I'm sorry, but I'm not going to throw away all that money my husband has been working so hard for. That's meant for my baby. What? But when it comes to using my sister-in-law's money, there's nothing wrong with that, right? I'm above you in this family, therefore your money is mine. I can use your credit card on whatever I'd like. What kind of reasoning is that? Between you and I, neither one of us is above one or the other in this family. You and I are equals since we are both sisters-in-law. You think I'm below you because I'm your little brother's wife and that you're above me because you're older? And that allows you the right to use my card without my permission? That's not a good enough reason for that. You're really getting on my nerves with all that talking. I wasn't using your money to mess with you in any way, all right? I needed to get rid of the stress I had last night in order to not harm the baby. That's why I used your card, so I have every right to use your card. I came home in order to be treated nicely by all of you while I'm pregnant. What? Since I've come all the way back home to my parents' home to have my baby, that means all of you have to be there to support me. And in your case, you are not even related to my family by blood, and also you're the youngest wife. But you are living in my parents' house as well, so that means you have to be the one to support my needs the most here. And this time, to support me, you had to help me get rid of that stress. So you're telling me no matter how much you plan to use my credit card without asking, and no matter how much you ask for my support, and no matter how many times you ask me to go out in the middle of the night to get you food, I can't complain about it? Because I'm not related to this family by blood and because I'm the youngest wife? That's right. But I'm sure someone without the experience of carrying a baby would never be able to understand me. Being stressed out during a pregnancy is some of the worst feelings you'll ever have. Now, I've gotten a little bit sleepy, so I'm going to take a small nap. Good luck at work today, okay, Deanna? I have had it with her, Brent. Go and talk to her right now, Brent.
Huh? What's happened this time, Deanna?
I have been telling you about her this whole time, right? About how your sister has been treating me in such a terrible way and her attitude towards me just grinds my gears. She doesn't give two craps about how I feel about any of this and keeps going on and on and on with all of that. Today she even told me that she used my credit card last night and spent a couple grand on it without my permission. That is way too much money.
Wait, are you serious?
And when I complained about it, she started to go on about how she did it in order to reduce her stress. And then she explained that since I'm the youngest wife in the family, she can do whatever she wants with me. I am not going to sit around any longer and let her keep doing things like that to me.
Well, listen. Calm down for me, will you? Look, I understand why you're so upset with her right now, but she's having a tough time right now, having to deal with being pregnant. So it's not her fault that she's become a little bit selfish under all that stress.
You call that a little bit selfish? She never tells me thank you for any of this even. And now she's gone and almost maxed out one of my credit cards. I had brought all of this up with your mother before, Brent.
What? What's my mum about it?
I had assumed that since she raised you, she'd be just as level-headed as you are. And since we are both in the same position, being women from other families, she'd understand me more. But when I began to explain to her what was going on, she started to act just like you are now. Telling me that it's not her fault for being a little selfish. Do you guys not see how much your sister is pissing me off right now? I'm being told by not one, but two people in this family that it's not her fault and that I just need to deal with it.
But, well, I could see that coming. As of right now, your only option is just to put up with Autumn.
So both you and your mom think I should just suck it up and let her continue to abuse me? You're telling me that from now on, no matter how ridiculous all the things she does to me are, I'm not to make a sound or raise my hands about it? Well, I'm sorry, Brent, but I've had enough of this. If nobody is going to be on my side during all of this, then I have an idea.
I'm asking you to please calm down for me. I see that you have had a lot of stress dealing with my sister. It's pushed you pretty far, but you're taking things way overboard now.
Huh?
Who cares that she used your credit card a little bit? That helped to get rid of some of the stress that she had, so who cares, right? That means that couple grand of yours she spent was to help the baby stay safe. I think $2,000 is totally worth it to ensure that the baby comes out happy and healthy.
What did you say?
And when it comes to being pushed to your limits, like you are now, that's the perfect time to grow into an even better person, right? I'd read about something like that in this self-improvement book I bought just a while back. So, I think you just have to keep with it, and you'll come out of this a better Deanna.
Are you being serious with me right now? Your wife is having the worst time of her life right now, and you've only got that to say to me?
Well, my break time's almost up now, so I'm going to have to get back to work. I'm sure that someday, when you're pregnant, you'll be able to understand how she's feeling. So until that time, just be quiet, try your best.
Hey, Deanna. I heard about you tattling on me to my brother and my mom. You had been telling them about how I'm such a selfish woman who doesn't care about your feelings? I never said that. But I did make it very clear to them that I was tired of being taken advantage of by you all the time. I understand that you are stressed right now from being pregnant, but you are not going to use that as your reason for treating me like I'm some kind of slave to this family. Wow, why are you being such a witch now? Are you not going to help out your sister-in-law even though she is going through so much pain having to carry this baby? And you got my mom and brother involved in all this now? Well, beware that even though I went and talked to them about this, neither one of them seemed to care. So that was a total waste of time for me. No matter how much I tried expressing my concerns to them, they both told me to shut up and deal with it. So it seems nobody is really that worried about me. And that was totally right of them. I mean, this is my family's house, right? Not your family's house. No matter how much stress you're having, my family will always care for me first. I just got a message from Brent a little bit ago saying for me to not worry about what you're saying and to do as I please with you. Is that right? And even my mom has been saying the same things to me. Which means from now on, with the power of my family backing me up, I'm going to use you as the slave you are to all of us. I'm the daughter of this family, and all you are is my little brother's stupid wife. So you are going to shut the hell up, and you are going to be the slave I've always wanted you to be. And if you ever try going against me and tattling like that again, I'm going to have my brother divorce you. We're already divorced, though. What? So that would mean I can go ahead and ignore you now. I no longer have to be your slave, and I'm free to do as I please now. And as for the money you stole from me, I'm getting it back from Brent. I really don't care how much you think I'm being a total witch right now, because I am no longer a part of your family and have nothing to do with you. Wait a second, please. What do you mean you're already divorced from Brent? When the hell did you and him get a divorce? I just got divorced from him only a second ago. I asked my work if I could take the rest of the day off. Then I made a sprint over to the courthouse and handed in the divorce paperwork I had. Huh? Just a few seconds ago? I have recently been carrying those divorce forms with me every day to work. And of course, I made sure that your brother was aware of that as well. So please don't think that I did this all without him knowing, because he was the one to fill out and sign his parts. But why have you been holding on to divorce paperwork that both you and Brent signed, huh? Does this mean that for a while now you both have been at arms with each other? I never knew about any of it, but you both have been talking about divorce for a while then? Before you came back to your parents' house, he and I had a very healthy and loving relationship. There was never a time that he and I brought up getting a divorce. But for the longest time, I have held on to a copy of our divorce papers signed and ready to be handed in. When he and I moved into his parents' house, he and I signed them. Huh? When you moved in with my parents? Your father had passed away and your mother was left to live alone, right? Well, your brother said that as her son, he wanted to live with her long term. He even begged me to stay in this house longer with your mother and got on his hands and knees to do so. But in the end, it was too much anxiety for me to want to live with your mom long term. It was all right when your father was around, but her by herself, ugh. But to convince me that I would be completely fine living here long term, he signed a divorce form and told me to do the same, saying that he would make sure my life in this house with your mother and him would never make me want to get a divorce. He told me that the signed paperwork was meant to show me that I could trust him and to act as a sort of incentive for him to keep being a good husband. What? So after seeing him hand me the paperwork, I had no choice but to say yes, and he showed me he really wanted my trust to live in this house longer. But seeing him now, I think he's totally forgotten about the divorce papers he signed. Because recently, I have really wanted to divorce him. He told me back when he handed me these papers that he'd never make me want one, but here we are. So, you've handed in those papers already, right? So you've really gone ahead and ended the relationship you and him had? Yes, because I don't need a man in my life who forgets how to take care of his wife. And so because of that, I no longer need to listen to you. I will no longer listen to your selfish crap any longer, so keep it coming and waste that time. I'm no longer listening, and your excuse of being pregnant isn't going to gain you any leverage anymore. You really think you can talk back to me like that now, do ya? I'm a bit surprised that you've already divorced Brent, but it has nothing to do with me. If anything, having you get the hell out of the house now will put my stress level at 0. If you've really gone and divorced him, then get going and leave my parents' house. What's that? I'm not going to be leaving this house. After all, your parents' house is now mine. What? What the hell did you just say? There's no way this house is all yours now. It belongs to my mom now. Well, if you didn't already know this, recently my name was put on this house. Both the house and the land it's on are both under my name now. So in other words, this place is mine. Huh? What do you mean your name is on it now? My mom got both the house and the land from my father when he passed away. So why the hell do you think you have your name on all of it? Well, your mom happened to change the name on both the house and land to me. What? My mom did that? It wasn't just your brother that changed after you came back home to have the baby. Your mom used to be very kind to me and saw me as her real daughter. But the moment you came back home, she changed for the worse like Brent. And now she's just like you, asking that I shut up and do all that you ask me for. But before you came back, your mother had put my name on this house. She told me that things like the taxes and payments on the house were too much for her to deal with and asked that I handle them. And in order to kind of force me into it, she changed the name on the place to mine. What? Are you for real? So that means with this divorce, all of you need to get out of my house. So you all get together and start gathering your things before I have you all out of this place. Because starting today, that house is now mine. The rest of you no longer have the right to live there.
Hey. Diana, you're lying about handing in those divorce papers, right? I just got a random call from my sister who seemed to be very freaked out by you saying something like that to her. There has to be some kind of misunderstanding here, or at very least a joke.
When it comes to the divorce paperwork, I really did hand them in. It was the same papers that I've held on to this whole time. So, starting today, you and I are no longer a couple.
What? Wait a minute. Why'd you hand in those papers like that all of a sudden?
You thought this was out of nowhere? I told you earlier that I'd been approaching my limit with everything, right? But as I kept coming to you for help every time, you grew closer and closer to your mom and sister. You seemed to not care anymore about the way I felt, and I could see that wasn't going to change. So that's why I got this divorce.
What the hell? You handed in our divorce papers just because you're mad with my sister. And you're going to say the divorce was justified because I didn't care about your feelings. We're not freaking kids anymore, so you can't say things like that as your reasoning. Are you a freaking idiot or something? Why would you use that reason for ending the love that we both had with one another?
The only idiot here is you, Brent. I was begging for your help, and yet you ignored all my pleas. So don't blame me for wanting a divorce after seeing you leave my side. You need to be blaming yourself for doing things that led me to want a divorce.
But that was because my sister's pregnant right now. I want to think about the baby she has and all the pain she has to go through.
Well, if you happen to care about her and the baby more than your own wife, I'm glad we got this divorce. Now you can focus all your attention on her and the baby and never have to worry about how I'm doing. I think we should both be happy about the divorce.
What?
Now, by the end of today, I'd like you to have all of your things together and be ready to leave the house. I'm going to stay the night somewhere else tonight so that I don't have to come home to you all crying and whining. When I'm back home tomorrow, not one of you better be in the house still, all right?
Wait a sec, please, Diana. I actually didn't know your name was put on the house either by my mum. Can you please at least give my mum back the house and the land? I'll accept the divorce, but please don't take the house. It's not yours to have.
No way, Brent. I don't have to give you anything back.
Huh?
I'm not as nice of a person as you think. If you were a better husband to me, then maybe I would be giving you the house and land back, but you weren't. So I'm going to meet you at your level, and I'm going to keep the place.
Are you kidding me? Then this means we'll really have to leave the house. My sister's supposed to be having a baby next month. My mum's turning 60 years old this year.
I am not going to care about what happens to those that never bothered to care about what happened to me. Now that's all I have to say. Since this is my first divorce, I think I'm going to have something nice to eat for dinner as a celebration. Deanna, please, help me, please. Do something about this situation right now. What was that? Why are you still talking to me? I'm just about to get back to my house here. I'm sure you've all gathered your things up and are out of the house right now. And now I'll finally have a place to myself again and can stretch my arms and legs out. Right now we've all gone back to my house. We realized that I was no longer going to be able to stay there after what you said and came back here. And of course I made sure to bring both Brent and my mom here as well. Okay, so you're all back at your house now. But this house isn't big enough to allow my brother and mom to live here as well. I asked them to please go somewhere for the night and stay, but they won't leave me, and they keep blaming me for this all happening to them. So now they're forcing themselves to stay the night here, even though there's no other bedrooms. But it's true that a lot of this is your fault, right? So just let those two stay with you for a little while. Are you even listening to me? My house does not have the room for them. This place only has 2 rooms and a kitchen dining area, and very soon here I'm going to be having my baby. But by having everyone in the house with you, you'll have all the support you need during the last month of your pregnancy. That should make both you and your husband really happy now, right? My husband's not happy about any of this. He's freaking pissed. It's all because of you guys that I'm at the risk of getting a divorce by him. Really? He was shocked to see me burst through the door with both my mother and brother and all their things, and in a panic I explained everything that happened to him. And then he replied by saying it was insane of me to think that I could threaten you with divorcing you from my brother. And now he doesn't even want to talk to me anymore. The last thing he told me was that he can't see himself raising a kid with me. I think he's only being fair and honest with you. I think any sane person would react the same way he did. This cannot be happening to me. Right now, my husband is getting ready to go back to his parents, and he told me once the baby is born, he's taking it with him. He doesn't even want me to have any part in raising it. Well, kids usually take after their parents, and I'm sure it's not healthy for one to take after you. You happen to think it's all right to steal people's money, force them into being your slave, and threatening them with divorce. I think someone like you would be a terrible influence to any baby. But I'm the one that'll be giving birth to it, though. Yet he's going to take it away from me the moment it's born? And what makes all of this worse is neither my mom or brother will be able to meet it. He said the next time we talk will be when he comes to get the baby. Well, then you'd better hurry up and kick your mom and Brent out of the place. But no matter how many times I ask them to leave, they just won't go. They keep saying that they have nowhere left to go and that I'm the one to blame for getting them kicked out of your place. So please, for the love of God, help me, Deanna. I have no reason to be helping any of you.
Diana, please let me come back into your life and let's become husband and wife again. My mum even said that she wants us back together, so please. I promise to never make you want to divorce me ever again, so please, give me another chance.
There's no way I'm letting you back into my life.
Please don't say that to me. I can't live without you in my life.
You'll be all right. You'll be fine. You told me that you just have to stick with it during hard times and that after you'll become a better person, right? You read that book on personal growth already, so I'm sure you can handle things.
What?
Well, that's all from me. I'll make sure to take great care of your parents' old house, so don't worry. Now have a great time with the rest of your family. Due to all the stress that Autumn was feeling, she ended up having her baby 1 month before her due date, in other words, having a premature birth. And just as had been told to her, her husband came to pick up the baby after a few days in the ICU being cared for and brought it home to his parents' house. And ever since that day, Autumn has not been able to see her baby. When it comes to both Brent and his mother, they've both still not yet left Autumn's place. Autumn has tried plenty of times to beg them to both leave her alone, but their only response is asking for her to pay for their new housing. And then they finish their reply by saying it's all her fault that things ended up the way they did and that she needed to take responsibility for it. From her husband, he later told her that things didn't look like they'd be getting better around her and asked for the both of them to get a divorce. So, I guess we'll see if this is the end for Autumn and her husband, or if she'll be able to get the money to move her mom and brother out of her place.